Hello everybody, Bryos here, and today's video is all about the redesigned Caustic Valley map. And in the September patch, together with some map quirks, the Caustic Valley map was redesigned and dropped together with the weapon and map changes. And honestly, the new Caustic Valley map has not been as well received as the previous maps. It's a crying shame because, ladies and gents, everybody has been downvoting it, and I would really like to play it a bit more often. So please upvote it. Thank you. So anyway, why are people downvoting it? I think honestly it's because of a bit of fatigue. Yep, that's the best word I could use to describe it. Fatigue due to changes in the maps, fatigue due to changes in the weapon systems, fatigue due to all the ever-changing map quirks. So people are, well, they're not used to it. They find change hard. They don't know what works anymore, what playstyle is superior, or rather that's what they think, I don't like to use the word superior, but playstyles do change. And yeah, so that leads to a bit of frustration in the community. So the purpose of this video, ladies and gents, is to reduce that frustration, or at least attempt to. And because of that, I'm going to use this mech, the Manu, to show you some gameplay later, and will show you how you could play Caustic Valley. And I'll also do a brief fly-through of the map to show you the map, some key areas, and of course some key ideas how you could play this map. And just a bit of disclaimer, I've had less than 15 matches on this map, so I might be wrong. I don't like to say wrong things, but I hope this video helps you guys. So by the way, a bit of advice, when a new map drops, and next month you'll see a new map coming in, when a new map drops, take out a mech you're comfortable with and make sure the mech is a bit well-rounded. For the gameplay later, I'll show you, it will have my Manu in it, and this Manu is a 4 large pulse, 19 double heatsinks ECM with a respectable speed of 81 kph. It's well-rounded, able to fight at multiple ranges with the large pulse lasers from 600 plus meters all the way down to short range, because it's no pushover at short range either. It can perform at that range, so that will allow you to explore the map better. If you take a very specialized build like a direwolf or a piranha, it's going to be hard to get used to the map because your playstyle is so specialized, and that can be a problem when you are trying to get used to a map. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going to show you a fly-through like I said, and for the fly-through I'm going to change to my spider because it's a lot faster. And yeah, so let's get down to testing grounds for Caustic Valley. So let's go. So here I am on Caustic Valley with my trusty little spider. And for the purpose of this section of this video, I'll be talking about two things. Number one, I'll be talking about the basic layout of this map. And number two, I'll be talking about some basic strats you can use. All this with a fly-through later to show you what I mean. So let's talk about the first. Oh, I forgot guys, a bit of disclaimer yet again, a repeat of disclaimer. I've played less than 15 matches, but I hope the basic ideas I introduced here, you can build up around it. And not everything might be correct, but it's a guide, and I hope it's useful. And number two, by the way, this battle grid is not entirely correct. Even the minimap below is kind of wrong. And what I mean is that there's too much contrast. The actual battle grid isn't supposed to look like this, and also the out of bounds areas are wrong. But for the purpose of this video, it will do fine. So let's get down to number one, the basic layout of this map. So we'll start the center 4 grids, Delta 4, Delta 5, Echo 4, Echo 5. This area is basically flat ground with lots of small lumps of terrain, and each lump of terrain can probably hide about 1 or 2 mechs at the most. Do be warned, some of the terrain can't hide you from lurms because they're a bit too low. So this, ladies and gents, these central 4 grids is basically, think of it as flat ground death zone. Yep, it is. And the western, southern and eastern part, all the brown areas, the rocks, is basically, well, hills sloping up from the low ground in the center to the higher ground at the edges, kind of like a bowl of death. And the top part is basically a yellow piss. This is the urinal of the map. Well, it didn't flush, so it's still yellow. And there's terrain here. But to be honest, hardly any gameplay happens around here until normally the final part of the match when you're chasing that goddamn shadow cat, So anyway, that's basically the orientation of this map. And secondly, let's talk about the basic strats you could use. I think the best way to visualize this map, or the way I view it, is like Dune, the movie. I like the movie, by the way. I like the game too. But anyway, what I mean by that is to keep to the rocks. Yep. keep to the rocks, avoiding the yellow piss, because these rocks are high ground and you overlook the center. Some people have complained that Caustic Valley is a sniper fest and a lerm fiesta is the new Polar Highlands. That is actually pretty correct, but not 100% true. Yet again, it's oversimplified. There are lots of ways to shoot the enemy with range. That is of course a problem if you're not short ranged, if you're not long ranged, but there's also a role for short range. So the basic strat basically, in my opinion, is to keep to the brown areas. If you start on the northern part, you either go by Delta 6 or Delta 3. In other words, move together to the left or right, make a call at the beginning. Move your brawlers, think of the brawlers as a package, move them together with the long range trading. And when you finally get there, hold a position, move the brawlers in and cover them with your range. Something like that. So that's a kind of a basic strat. And you need the brawlers right at the end to either defend your range boys or to push for the win. And you'll see that in the gameplay later. Of course, no battle plan survives contact with the enemy, so do be aware of that. And some people, like I said, think this is a lerm, a long range fiesta map, and that's partially true. But in the final act of the match, to secure the win or to defend from lost, you will need the short range boys. So the short range brawlers, you gotta be patient and be careful. Yes, it's range centric, but that's not all there is to it. So let's start by having a look at the map itself using free cam. So as I mentioned, the center is a death trap. This is what it looks like from the helicopter view. Lots of flat terrain with just some small cover. Be aware the smaller rocks like this don't really cover you from lerms. Some of this also don't cover you. So be very careful as you pick your terrain. And if you look at the edges of the map, like I see the dark spots here, this is basically the most usable areas of the map. And like I said, you get huge chunks of cover, so that's really useful. And let me show it to you from the max point of view. And before we do that, let me talk about a few things, mainly night vision and heat vision, the effectiveness or rather the lack of effectiveness, and that is actually really important in this map, because in this map, Caustic Valley, there's basically a lot of ambient stuff in the air. I call it vaporized poop, and that will reduce visibility. So for example, if you see this guy here, Alpha, he is really far away. And one of the tricks you can actually use is heat vision. So here we are about 1000 meters away from him, and you can't really see him using the normal vision. But by switching to heat vision, you can see a black spot. So that allows snipers to actually hit him from range. And that's how you hit the enemy from range. So tip number 1, for range engagements, use heat vision. That actually helps a lot. And we'll talk about number 2, night vision. So I have another tip for you guys, and that's night vision. Night vision is also useful in certain circumstances, because one flaw with heat vision is that the plumes of vaporized poop flying into the air actually block heat vision. So for example, this Centurion here, Charlie, he's only 360 meters away, but using heat vision, you can't see him. It's basically bright white, and of course you can't see him through the smoke. But night vision cuts through the vaporized poop. So that's tip number 2, to see through the smoke or vaporized poop as I call it. And it does look like poop, even looks as though it's raining poop. So as I was saying, sorry, I got distracted by poop. Tip number 2, use night vision to cut through the smoke. That helps a lot. And earlier I was talking about the center, which is a death trap. At the beginning of the match, my suggestion is do not walk through this area. It will cause you lots of problems. And if you stand in the center of the open area like this, you deserve to die a sad, pathetic death, because never stand in the open. And the reason, especially so in this map, is that everybody has good lines on you. And there are multiple pathways through these gaps, all these gaps here. And that means many people can engage you. It's very hard to predict where the enemy comes from, and many people can see you. Take this Atlas for example, Echo. You can't see him because of the... yeah, there it is, the heat vision, but at night you can see him. That's one target. If I shift to the left, there's an awesome here. If I shift to the left some more, you see there are lots of targets around. In fact, I think there are a few more. You can't really predict where they are. There they are. See? So just from here, 1, 2, 3, many angles where people can hit you. So as you're moving up, it's really hard to manage those angles. So like I said, in the initial phase, do not walk through this area, because you probably have, let's say, 12 enemies. Let's say assume they start from the south. you got many enemies able to shoot you from multiple angles, and the brawlers can use all this terrain here to sneak up on you. You can move from cover to cover. If you can do this, the enemy brawlers can do it too. And like I said, do take note, some of the smaller lumps like this do not shield you from lerms. Neither does this. Some of the bigger lumps too. So you gotta be careful by choosing your lumps. Lump choice is important. And if you look at another thing here, I want to show you something special. So, okay, before that, let's look at the, as I said earlier, stick to the brown areas. Just like in the movie Dune, stick to the rocks, avoid the sand, or in this case, the pee. Yep, it's like pee, you know? This is like a urinal that never got flushed. So avoid stepping on pee. So anyway, as I was saying, the fringes of the map, the west, south, and east, the brown areas, actually have huge lumps of terrain, and this is really useful. So let's say we are here, and we are now in the southwestern part. There's huge lumps of terrain. If you're a hill humper with high mounts, like my Manu, you can use it. Find the enemy, see them, and shoot. And then use this rock for cover. So there's lots of cover here. And it's kind of wide. It's 2 grids wide. That's about kilometer wide. So there are many paths people can use to sneak up or move around. So that's a very strategic thing. And yeah, that's what I meant to show you guys. Some tips, as I said, center's a death trap. The edges are hills going up with larger terrain features for cover. And of course, because of all the multiple pathways in between and the size of the gaps here, people can use it to move around. So like say Fox 3 and Fox 2, there's a lot of space here. So light max like my spider can sneak up on you, well, pretty easily. See? All the way here. So you gotta be really careful about that. And yeah, so that's about it. And to end this, I'm gonna show you something special, and I'm gonna use my spider to get there. There's actually a tunnel on this map. That's a hidden feature most people don't know. Not really strategically useful, but you'll be surprised. So if you head to Delta 3 Echo 3 border, there is an area with a tunnel. So anyway, as we get there, as I said, lots of hills you could use on the brown areas. These are the most useful things. There it is. So back to the tunnel. In the Delta 3 Echo 3 boundary, there is a tunnel here. So you could do weird things. There's actually a lump of rock blocking it. There you are, at this exact spot. So you can actually use this, hide from lerms, and see the guy about 1100 meters. See the black spot? Shoot. This guy is 1001. Notice the visibility? That's tip number 1, use heat vision. And yeah, so that's it guys. That's it for this spider on Caustic Valley. I hope you found the tips useful, and let's get down to the gameplay, and I'll show you how I use these tips to, well, spoiler here, get a win. So let's go. So here we come to the gameplay section of this video, and as I mentioned, I'm using my 4 large pulse Manu, and this is actually the second match ever for me on Caustic Valley. And my thinking to this match was pretty simple. Gonna keep the big guys company, not venture too far away from them, and using my large pulse lasers, I'm going to suppress the enemy using heat vision to see them. And always keep moving forward and staying together as a cohesive team. Of course, doing what I usually do, calling targets. Polar, Caustic is pretty open. Very learn friendly. Seems that way.
Light PPCs flying at
Target spotted.
As I mentioned, using thermal vision, you can see all the way up to 1000 meters. That's what I'm using to hit that guy. If it's a black spot, you can shoot him. If it's no black spot, you can't shoot him.
This is my first match on this map, I think. No, it is.
Just stay together. Don't leave the assaults behind. Simple. Simple general rules. Alright, take cover in Delta 4. The enemies are in Echo 4. They're NASCARing from our right, our left.
Target acquired.
Calling out the enemy position and always staying the assaults. Not too far from them.
Acquired.
Target spotted.
New target acquired.
Target spotted. Target
So as I mentioned, try to keep to the side. Suggest we advance towards Echo 4. Yeah, don't stop. Moving together with the team. Don't charge, but cover to cover. Enemy assaults will be Delta 5 by now. When you have no idea what to do, always just murder ball.
Target spotted.
Lots of snipers. Not to be unexpected. Black spot there. I can target him.
Target
Target
spotted.
acquired.
At this point, I'm going to shift a bit to the right using the brown
New target
rocks.
acquired.
Target spotted.
That will give me better angles on these snipers
New target
and allow my
acquired.
big chunky boys to move up.
Target spotted.
We take Echo 4, then we turn around.
Negative.
Uzil in trouble. Charlie.
Sorry.
So enemy is a bit fragmented.
Target
Lots of
acquired.
snipers, as you can see. They figured out to use range on this map.
New target acquired. Override
Need assistance.
engaged.
But calling
Yeah, let's
coordinates,
just defend this area. Go up the slope.
calling coordinates helps.
Uzil is licked. Charlie.
So shot calling, Charlie's linked, he's in trouble. Team is moving forward.
Target destroyed.
Gonna defend
Holy
this spot.
fuck, yeah, I'm on the
Base is
floor.
being captured.
Yep.
Yeah, there are lots of lurbs.
Call targets, guys.
Strike online. New
Go
target
see.
Target
When
spotted.
people don't know what to do, they bring lurbs.
Alright, Golf is... Oh,
Target
Vindicator.
spotted.
As you look at the minimap, notice we're all staying together. That helps.
New
One assault
target
deck full.
Maybe a few
Yep, they're
flankers.
gonna come from our rear with
Target
assaults.
acquired.
Watch our rear.
Target spotted.
New target acquired.
Ah, those walk in front of me.
Critical.
Target spotted. Target
So just holding position, gonna trade from
Alright,
here.
defend.
New target acquired.
Call is made to defend. Hopefully the team holds.
Target spotted.
This will force the enemy team to walk through the center.
New target
Target
acquired.
spotted.
They have lots of snipers and that's a problem. That's where I come in. That's my role.
I hate to sound weird, but can we defend the enemy base?
They've got.
This is a weird match. It's assault, but we are not capping enemy base, we're
Okay,
just,
turn around. Corsair, Echo.
we're just protecting the enemy base. This is funny.
Acquired. Heat level.
So enemy is actually trying their best, sniping at us and advancing on our left.
Swag, keep running.
Black Knight's open.
Yeah, our Atlas there is all alone. He's got a tank for
New
us.
target
Our
acquired.
anchor.
Corsair's charging. Center, Echo 4.
Artillery strike.
Calling out targets and they're great.
Heat level.
I'm actually worried about the Atlas on my left. He's all alone.
New target.
Kilo, left torso, dire.
Heat level
Just hold.
critical.
Those in Fox 5, could you come back?
Override.
If you don't mind.
shutdown. Enemy base
Yeah,
is
Casper
being
and his dire with
captured.
LBs. Caught in the open in the center.
Good kill.
New
Like I said,
target
death pit.
Good
acquired.
kill on the Orion.
Target spotted.
Doing well, Zwok.
New
You
target
survived.
acquired.
Hotel.
Target spotted.
So Zwok and his Atlas held the left flank really well.
Target spotted.
Now it's
Enemy
5-1.
base is being captured.
Just pumping damage into the enemy. This is the power of rage and heat
New
vision, as you can
target
see.
Acquired. Override.
Now you can look at the minimap. Team is advancing through the center for the final push.
Incoming
All the brawlers are
missile.
happy.
Target
Heat
spotted.
level
King Crab
critical.
running forward,
Target destroyed.
eager for the kill.
Override shutdown.
Great work. 6-2. 7-2.
Need assist.
Delta
Target
4.
spotted.
1 target.
Target
Bravo.
spotted.
So this is the best time to use the center. Just push through and secure the win.
Target destroyed.
No more Bravo.
New target acquired.
And all the isolated snipers, all alone, time to pick them out.
New target acquired. Heat level
Target
critical.
spotted. Target spotted.
See, all these people, they figured out range is strong on this map. But too many snipers, you get, sometimes you get
Golf
things
right
like,
leg.
Spotted.
you get things like this.
New target acquired.
Without enough mass in the middle,
Yeah, we got this.
they
Target
couldn't
spotted.
push well. Yep.
Target
So
destroyed.
even though it's strong for sniping, too many is a bad thing.
New target acquired.
And I said, there's always a role for the brawlers to go in to smash. Enemy just didn't have enough. So it's 10-2. That's Pete. Really good player. Saying hi to him.
Target spotted.
Always be polite. So he's making a break for it. Nothing much he can do. 10-2.
Target spotted.
He's just trying to pump the damage. I'm kind of fresh except for heat damage, so I'm just going to try solo him. Well, not exactly solo. Lots of people shooting him.
Heat level critical.
Go for the licks.
Target spotted.
Fast max, always go for their licks.
Heat level critical.
Trying my best to shield. Pete is a good player, way better than me. Gotta be careful, do a bit more defensive play.
Heat level critical.
Now he's the last one. Always a shadow cat, like I said. A bit of assault from the enemy team on comms.
Heat level critical.
I guess.
And he goes down.
Yep.
Sort of.
So that's it for this showcase match showing you how to play this map. Whatever it is, if you're not sure, stay together, protect your assaults, and yeah, just keep shooting. So 991 damage, power of the long range builds, 2 kills, and yeah, we kind of wrecked them. 560 max score. So, ladies and gents, that's it for this video on the new Caustic Valley. To be honest, I kinda like it, but yep, I gotta admit it's strong for long range, but there's always a role for the short range dudes to win the match. But anyway, till next time guys, give this map a try, upvote it so I can play it. So that's it, Bryo signing off, see you guys around, bye.